Hello, my name is Exible, and this is Unity of Command 2 Barbarossa DLC Tikhvin mission. 3, 2, 1. Alright, so there's one big little trick to this little big mission. So at some point, and it's your goal, it's you can and you should cut the supply of the enemy units around Volkhov. So they're trying to counterattack. It's not a big deal. They really don't have the forces to destroy you easily unless you make a mistake there. And your real goal here is to force them out of supply. And what you need to do is cut that railway coming from Tikhvin to Volkhov. Once you cut it, they're out of supply and they're going to be very easy to destroy, especially since you really don't have to take Volkhov very early. So it's turn 8. And you have plenty of time to force them out of supply. But the trick here is that the Soviets have two trucks, at their disposal to place as supply hubs. And actually, the trick here is that you need to somehow convince the AI to place those trucks as a supply hub. And I found that in this case, it indeed did. So it uses the level 1 supply hub between Tikhvin and Chudovo, and as you can see, it increases its level, and it's used up those truck. I have found that if you don't touch the supply hub, if you don't sit at the hex next to that supply hub by the end of turn 1, generally the AI really does it. So, and it's critical to, first of all, to clear it. Obviously, you need to destroy that supply hub because it's feeding everyone around it. And now I cut the railway, and this is pretty much 70% of the mission done. So I've succeeded. Right now, the Soviets don't have any trucks in their reserve, and pretty much everybody around Volkhov is going to be completely out of supply for 3 turns, guaranteed. So, obviously, the Soviets will return those trucks, in 3 turns, but by then, all of these guys will completely out of supply, and it will be very easy to destroy them. Right now, clearing all that horde is extremely difficult, and you really don't have the forces to do it, especially on hard when your battle outcomes and predictions are pretty terrible, so really you shouldn't rely on that. You really need to force them out of supply, especially given that Tikhvin and that remote objective are pretty difficult. The Ladena Pole, I don't know what it means. So Tikhvin and that Pole objectives they will take some losses, and they are pretty difficult on hard. On classic, they're very doable. Had it been classic, I would have just sent a strong, well-equipped tank division to take it and just let it sit there. But here, tanks really don't work. The Tikhvin guys are well-entrenched, well-fortified. They've got that no-retreat order. And on hard, they get significant bonuses which make it extremely difficult to get rid of that city. And as you can see, I have concentrated my artillery. So I'm using a motorized division there with 2 normal artillery steps, and I have actually that infantry division with 2 yellow divisions, yellow artillery steps. I think both of them are 21cm mortars, and I love that combination. As if you have seen my Vyazma mission, I really love that combo. And so this is, essentially how you make it. So I gradually destroy, I whittle down their defenses. And by the way, the Soviets around Volkhov are running out of supply, which is great. So next turn it will be a complete rout for them. And so one thing that you should keep in mind is that steps that are suppressed, they die last. So if, for example, you've got an infantry unit with 2 very valuable artillery steps, and you somehow have to attack, in a less than advantageous position, advantageous way, make sure you move that infantry first and then attack, so that the artillery doesn't die. Because I found that the game likes killing your specialist steps, and they're valuable and they're expensive. So, and here's me advancing towards Volkhov. It's mine. It gives you an engineer step, and it's very critical to cut the supply completely off, prevents any possibility of the AI at this point getting any supplies to its forces. So I've completely cut it off because next turn the AI is getting those trucks. So you must do everything to prevent the Soviets from anyhow exploiting them, because, well, it'll effectively lose you the mission. Because at some point, and it'll happen soon, you will really need essentially to clear that area, destroy the formerly attacking Soviet troops, because it's a shorter route for your supply lines. So because supply is pretty difficult on this map. Once you reach that Ladenia Pole objective, it gets pretty spicy there. And it's not spicy at all. I mean, like, no food, no fuel, no nothing. By the way, just a little note here. Make sure you always keep someone in Schlüsselburg. Don't get carried away and just remove a guy. Remember, there's enemies on the other side of the river, and they just won't wait for you to capture the Schlüsselburg objective, and, well, it's effectively it loses the mission for you. And, oh, by the way, I've taken Tikhvin. I've just noticed. And as you can see, having like two artillery steps and having like lots of artillery brought to the city, just make sure you don't use the fire superiority ability. It'll destroy the city with a 60% chance, and you really don't need that. And as you can see, by turn 6, I already have reached the last objective of the mission, and I'm pretty about to succeed in it. And it really doesn't take a lot. If you are very fast on taking Volhov, on cutting off the supply of the guys inside of Volhov and like beyond, you will succeed. You're pretty much guaranteed to succeed. And speaking of not succeeding, I actually once had a run as good as this, and I forgot to leave an infantry in Schlüsselburg, and the Soviets actually captured it, and I had to restart. And then, like, I ran out of luck, and I had a few really bad runs, and, like, was pretty frustrated the fact that I actually stupidly prevented myself from succeeding in this mission much quicker. But as you can see, I have actually built this supply bridge between Volhov and my original positions because I have taken that Soviet territory there. It's very useful, and now that actually the route between my original positions and Volhov and that Ladenia Pole is much shorter now, and actually it's much easier for me to supply those units trying to take the last objective. And as you can see, I've brought my motorized division with all that artillery it's got. So the next step is going to be to attack that village and actually destroy it. Unfortunately, the attack doesn't work, but the artillery does. So the city is in ruins, but I have enough forces to push through it. So the Soviets retreat, and I win. So I think this is it for today, for today's mission. I'm not going to play around with and trying to destroy the Soviets. So thank you for listening, for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.